Room Full of Spoons, from Ottawa-based filmmaker Rick Harper, set out to tell the story of the 2003 cult movie The Room. A documentary about the infamous Citizen Kane of bad movies, Tommy Wiseau's The Room, can finally be seen by a wider audience, after a Toronto judge on Wednesday lifted an injunction against the Canadian-made Room Full of Spoons, from Ottawa-based writer and filmmaker Rick Harper, a self-proclaimed superfan of The Room, set out to tell the story of the 2003 cult movie, initially with Wiseau's blessing and collaboration. But Wiseau reportedly pulled out of the project, and in June sought an injunction against showing the film, alleging copyright infringement, invasion of privacy, and that it mocks and disparages both him and The Room. In a somewhat amusing ruling, noting that The Room's fame rests on its apparently abysmal quality as a movie, Ontario Superior Court Judge Marcus Conan dismissed all claims. Reached by the Star for comment, Wiseau said he wasn't sure about the decision and would not comment on his next step. From what I've heard, it's not over yet, so we'll see what happens, said Wiseau. Asked if he plans to appeal, he repeated we'll see what happens, and hung up. Harper, the documentary maker, was ecstatic. I was driving and I got an email from my lawyer on Wednesday and it was all in caps saying, "Congratulations, the injunction has been lifted," and I just started screaming, he said in a phone interview Thursday. It feels great, man. It's a little overwhelming right now. We never saw the light at the end of the tunnel, so we don't really know where we are going from here. We haven't even announced it to our fans. The decision comes at a convenient time for Harper, since a comedy about the making of The Room, called The Disaster Artist, starring James Franco as Tommy Wiseau, is scheduled for release in December. Wiseau himself was a star attraction at a Toronto International Film Festival screening of The Disaster Artist in September. It's actually really good timing for us, Harper said. It's funny, there's sometimes a perception out there that we're trying to ride the disaster artist's coattails, but we started making this movie years before there was a disaster artist book. Harper befriended the enigmatic Wiseau years ago, and started working together on the documentary, but he says they had a falling out over their vision for the film. Part of his sort of branding is all about the mystery he has built around his character, Harper said of Wiseau. Is he truly like that? Is it performance art? Is he just playing a role of Johnny from The Room all the time? In interviews, he's really evasive, he never talks about these things, and as a fan of the film, as a fan of Tommy Wiseau, I set out to answer those questions, which is what any proper documentary will do. I think he expected the documentary to be a celebration of The Room, which ultimately it is, and to treat him very seriously as an artist. There's no arguing that he's an artist, but I don't think he fully appreciates that he is celebrated ironically. Play video play loaded 0% progress 0% remaining time. This is a modal window. Foreground, white black red green blue yellow magenta cyan, opaque semi-opaque background, white black red green blue yellow magenta cyan, opaque semi-transparent transparent window, white black red green blue yellow magenta cyan, opaque semi-transparent transparent font size 50% 75% 100% 125% 150% 175% 200% 300% 400% text edge style none raised depressed uniform drop shadow font family default monospace serif proportional serif monospace sans serif proportional sans serif casual script small caps defaults done.